what you playing. Help me understand, boy, make it make sense. It's not no rocket science, use your common sense. Easy as 1, 2, 3, boy, make it make sense. Don't need no PhD, use your common sense. Your common sense. One second you say something, next minute you do something just 1, 2, 3, boy, make it make sense. Don't need no PhD, use your common sense.
No. I don't know why that was like difficult. Did it work? Did you?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a little echo. Oh, I don't know. They're just gonna have to hear us. I don't know. This isn't gonna work.
It's not doing it now.
Huh? Can you hear it? Sorry, you guys. We are testing. I like just doing it in the moment.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we are trying to do something different because TikTok cannot see all the amazing things that we be creating over here. So we were trying to like finesse this thing, and they can probably. I just probably have to. We have to speak up so they can hear.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear us.
Make sure you guys you can hear us on there.
Yeah, I can hear us.
Okay, so so if y'all want to see the little rig, go check out TikTok real quick and let us know your thoughts. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so let me.
Breaking the habit of being yourself. You said you got some.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we got some visual. What's the word I'm looking for?
Mm-hmm. We have some stuff going on.
Visual
Surprise!
aids. We have some visual aids.
Okay. All right. Sorry, you guys. All righty. So we're going to get into it. We're getting into it. So thank you for tuning into this week's episode of our book club. So our book club is essentially here to help foster mindset shifting and personal growth. This is just something that I feel is needed along entrepreneurship, life, all the way around. So this is a way that we're holding each other accountable. You guys are holding us accountable. We can kind of hold you guys accountable on reading, getting your reading in. And we're right back into the new year. So essentially, I know at least 75% of you guys got reading on the list. Right. So this is just another way to get it done and start now. Mm-hmm. So last year when we started book club, we read this book. Again, I read this book personally every year because I do believe that each time you read a book, you catch something different. And where you are on your growth or on your journey, you're going to catch and receive something that's meant for you at that time, right? So I love this book because it breaks things down in a very mechanical, sciencey, cool way, in my opinion. But how do you?
I mean, it is very. It makes it logical, sure I guess, for people. I think it's more logical for people who may doubt the fact that it's that easy or feel like, that's all you have to do is,
get comfortable.
Think of what you are and you'll become it is basically what it is.
But it's breaking it down.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It breaks it down for people to understand how it works and how, like I said, it is. Essentially, it is, if you think about it, it's an easy thing to do, but it's actually not, because you have to kind of retrain your brain from thinking other things, which we'll get into.
Yeah. So, all right. So, we're going to jump right into it. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say, but it is what it is. If y'all been on, y'all know I do that all the time. So that is nothing new. All right, so chapter 1, the quantum you. Dr. Dispenza introduces the concept that our thoughts influence our reality. He merges science and spirituality, explaining how the quantum field responds to our intentions and our emotions. All right, cool. See what we did there? Ooh, I love it. I love it. Oh, there's so not that much. I know. Thank you, girl. Thank you. You know, it's not that many things I'm proud of, but you know, because it's like when you create things, you always find something wrong with it, the imperfection. So, but anyway, so yes, so essentially, and y'all go ahead and vote and see if y'all like it.
Yeah. Let us know, please.
Let us know your thoughts. It elevates. But yeah, so yeah, going back to the question, and I got to look at it again to get jogged. But
I know, because I was so geeked about the daggone thing. I wasn't even paying attention.
Oh, yeah. But he introduces the concept that our thoughts influence our reality. And he talks about the science and spirituality and our intentions and our emotions. So he just takes everything in like a field. Like we look at a field where how everything is supposed to seem like it's solid. He talks about like a solid state. And essentially everything isn't, because when he took like a wave would bend around just to still reach. So like if we're talking, you can hear sound. Like if I close the door, you can still hear me. It doesn't stop it, you know, in a solid form. So he talks about that. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like a way to like break this down. Not so, I mean, because it is sciencey. So if you do like science, then this is for you. But to break it down into a simple level of explanation. So to give you a premise, if you haven't read this book, he does also have like a video series where he visually shows you how the quantum field works, how everything works in a very visual format. So it kind of helps you, because everybody learns differently, visually, auditory, or you know, mechanically, or whatever things are. But he shows it to you. He breaks it down, so it's more interactive than reading the book. The book itself is, you know, trying to explain it in a visually stimulating way, if that makes sense. Right. Okay. Yeah. So in the book, he's taking examples of science, and he is explaining science and connecting it with personal experience, so you can kind of correlate the two, like science and what we do every day. It's still correlated. Like, does that make sense? Okay, cool. Because sometimes, you know, I be talking around. And he talks about, I'm trying to think where he talked about the spirituality part. I mean, I feel like all of it could be considered, you know, a belief, because he talks about faith. Maybe that's the spirituality part.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, but that's basically what it is, right? You have to, it's faith. You believe that this is what's going to happen. Like every time I think about, well, when we, you know, read this book, I just always, it kind of associates it with, and I think I've said this before, like it just kind of makes it so like people who don't believe God, atheists, right? This would make it logical, because then it doesn't seem like it's to God. But honestly, that's really what it is, essentially, if you think about it. Because if you basically giving it faith, you have to have faith, right? You have to have faith in God. You have to have faith in things. So if you believe in this stuff, and even God said this, if you believe, then you're gonna have it. It's yours. So I mean, you basically just really live in that. Like you really have to embody it and think that these things will be. Yeah, I mean, that's just what I be thinking about it. Like every time we go over this book, it just makes me think about just, I mean, spiritually, it is like spiritual, because he never says anything about God. He doesn't really speak about God, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I think what it is I'm trying to explain the book, but I want to just explain it from my experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I think from my experience, like essentially the quantum you and the way that I took it, because again, this is like the fourth or fifth time that I've read this book.
Mm-hmm.
I was originally introduced to this book by a coworker, and she said that it was going to completely just transform my life, and I'm like, what? She was saying that her sister read it and some other people read it and they talked about how this book transformed their life, and I'm like, okay, all right, cool, let me read it. So I actually read it. I was going to tech at the time, and during what's the word I'm looking for, transmutation, I can't even think right now, what is it?
Transmutation?
Is that the word? I don't think that is the word.
I don't know what
getting to and from school. Okay, so
transportation,
not transportation, it's something else, but whatever. Anyway, but like going to and from school, I would listen to the book because I was going. I'll figure it out later. It's gonna pop up. But like I was going from West Columbia to Clemson Road, essentially traveling back and forth. And it was like a 45-minute ride. And this book is like 14 hours or something like that. So essentially, I'm reading the book. And after I read the book, I was like completely taken aback by it because it really made things connect.
Right.
It in the sense of like, if you are taught in a religious form,
Mm-hmm.
and they talk about faith and they talk about this and this, that, and the other, to me, I feel there are certain questions that lie in that. How can I have faith on things and not also question it at the same time? Right. I'm nosy. I want to know. How does this actually work? Right? Like, how are you going to tell me to have faith without, but I feel like you go through a series of trials and life and
Mm-hmm.
lessons, and you end up learning what that really means. But you don't, when you're first taught this, there's really no correlation, right? And a lot of people, I feel like we go through life not even looking at that part of life when it comes to learning and growing. Well, essentially, it answered questions for me. And how do I start to change my thought process, or did I need to change my thought process? Like, it made me confront things. It had me asking questions. He talks about the guilty feeling, like if your body is creating or craving guilt. Like, let's say you were brought up in a home where you peed on yourself or something. We're just using that example. You peed on yourself and you were guilted and shamed until you were ashamed, or until you grew out of it, right? But your body subconsciously has created a drug to being the guilty or the shaming. So now you're going out in the world and you're seeking that validation. And essentially your body is driving you, not you. So it helps you recognize what is bodily driven and what's mindfully driven or subconsciously driven.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about how those two are separate, but they're not really separate once we ourselves connect. We become aware of it. It's now a connection.
Right.
So when he talks about intentions and emotions, our intentions for most of our lives, if we haven't introduced this way of thinking, or even came across this book, at least for me, not coming across this book, I still would be floating in emotions and intentions and back and forth and back and forth. But it basically says that if you were, let's take that example, raised in shame, mm-hmm. and now you're out in the world seeking validation for that shame and that guilt, your intentions are going to be to obtain, again, the validation of shame and guilt. So you're going to purposely put yourself in situations, subconsciously, not consciously putting yourself in situations that will bring you shame or guilt, because that's what your body is programmed, mm-hmm. on. And you're like, well, how is that possible? Or how does that work? Well, they talk about, chemicals. They talk about, learned behavior. So, for instance, before they use the example of motherhood. So before you become a mother, you're, single, you end up having a kid, and now your body has to adjust to being a mother. So about 2 years in, you can be driving, yelling at the kids, fixing apple juice, doing all of these things, still getting your destination because you now on autopilot. Right. So now being on autopilot, your body is used to this sort of stress or this sort of stimuli. It's subconsciously creating these habits. So it goes into breaking habits, right? And it shows how habits are formed without without our knowledge, like without us actually becoming aware of it. And the only way that we can break the habit of being ourselves is breaking the habit of doing things without intentions, or not, or understanding that if we don't have intentions, then what is the point? We're just an autopilot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your body just chemically fuses to that thing. So you kind of just, like you say, you just kind of just there. Like you wake up in the morning, you have your same routine, you do the same thing, just stuff like that. You're just used to it, and that's the feeling that you're used to having. So you don't,
So yeah, so that we kind of moves us into chapter 2. Overcoming the environment. Learn how our external environment shapes our internal state. This chapter challenges us to rise above our surroundings and stop being a victim of circumstances. So essentially, and I love that part, is about being victims of circumstances. Just get real with y'all. As a Virgo, and I'm speaking for me as a Virgo, you tell me if you agree. When people do things that don't make sense, but then complain, irks my nerves. Like, it irks my nerves. It irks my nerves. Like, when I say this in being that we all make choices and decisions, and I think being that I'm of an aware state, there are things that people do in an unaware state. Now, I've learned grace because, again, I realized I was in an unaware state at one point. So therefore, people were probably pissed at me about the same thing. But however, when they say victim of circumstance, right? Okay, let's use an example of you need money today, right? Your bills are piling up. You need $300, right? And your friend offers you an opportunity to make $300 legally, legitimately. You just might have to work 10 hours. Now, you're like, I really don't want to leave my house. You
don't want that money
then. I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to do that. But that's through the money that you needed, but you don't want to get up and go do this to get the $300. So don't complain to me about not having $300. You could have had $300. Exactly. So that is, to me, being a victim of circumstance. Is that there are things that you can do within your control. Do you see it? Are you aware of it? Are you going to do something about it? Or are you going to see it, whatever, and ignore it and act like it didn't happen? So, and then you're relying on other things to take control or to fix it. That just, to me,
or you blaming other people
for your mistakes, right? Like,
you don't have no accountability,
none whatsoever.
You just like you are a victim. And these things are happening to you because somebody else, when you're the one who did
the chaos,
the things that you did.
The chaos is around.
The people that you blame, it wasn't with you when you did it. But somehow you got to stop doing that.
Too hard.
You got to stop doing that. That's not okay.
Yes.
It's not okay. You know, being aware of yourself, self-aware.
Being self-aware. Like if you don't feel like doing it because you don't really feel like doing it, then own up to it.
Then that's fine.
That's fine. But don't.
But you can't be mad at nobody else.
Exactly. None. Nobody.
You need to be mad. If you want to be mad at yourself.
So basically, it's about overcoming the environment. Like, you know, if you're placed in a certain environment, you see everybody doing the same thing, and you're seeing that it's not getting the result, then you have to place yourself in an environment where you're seeing the results.
Right.
Iron sharpen iron. I believe that 150,000%. If you're not in a situation where you can learn and grow, then you must find and connect with others that are learning and growing, or in a space where you would want to be, because now you are going to want more for yourself, right? And there's nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself. You know, and you can allow people to tell you that you should be content with what you have. And I'm like, yes, be content, be happy, be grateful. But it is okay to do and want more, to be able to do and want more. Okay.
Right.
All right. And again, I do definitely believe this, because I know it says, you know, your external environment shapes our internal state. I believe that 100%, you know, when it comes to, you know, godliness, cleanliness next to godliness.
Yeah.
I do believe in the fact that if everything has its place, and maybe that's just me being really super particular, but I do like everything. Like if everything could just be perfectly in its place, I would be happy. That would be awesome. But I settle for everything being close to its place because, and I do it that way because in the control of wanting things to be exactly how I want them to be is unrealistic. It's not going to be 100%. I have to learn to pivot. I mean, and then also we want to go into the blessings of God. If I pictured it a certain way and I say I want it to be that way, and I get it that way, I don't know what the abundance of what could have been from. Right. So I want it all. Okay, so we leave room for flexibility over here. It is what it is. Now, what you?
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of the same way. Just I would like for things to be a certain way, but I also know that it's not realistic, you know, and everybody is not going to do things the way that I might do them. So, you know,
give people
it
grace.
Just is what it is. So
give people grace.
Yeah.
But I would have wiped that down this way, though. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's for next time. If you want to take,
I mean, definitely would give a suggestion, or like not even a suggestion, just to say like, well, XYZ, especially if I already know like what a possible outcome could be, because hey, I don't know everything, and I could be wrong.
I mean, but I do know a lot. I'm not gonna say that I don't know everything, but I have been right a lot.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying. That's all I say. Okay. All right. So that spaghetti was good, girl. All right, moving on. 2, 3. All right. Overcoming the body. Our bodies often operate on autopilot, driven by subconscious programming. Dispenza explains how to train the body to align with new thoughts and feelings for a transformative change. All right. So now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the book. And with this part, I lost my thought. Yes. So it's no, that was chapter 2.
This is chapter 3.
Yeah, chapter 3. So in this part, let's think about like, what is it? Shadow. What is it called? What do they call it? Oh, I just had it. Give me a second. Let Google be its guide. shadow work. I don't know why I forgot about that. Yeah, but shadow work. So I know like a lot of people talk about doing shadow work, or learning yourself and learning the dark side of yourself and all these other stuff. And not saying dark side like in, like evil and murderous and wanting to serial kill or something. But I'm talking about more so like understanding what triggers you are, like the unhealed part of yourself when you're working through things. You have to learn about yourself to understand, bless you, to understand, how you move in certain situations so you don't let situations control you. So again, going into autopilot and subconscious programming, I know I kind of touched on it when I was explaining, the overall premise of the book. But the programming is things that we've allowed ourselves to do over a prolonged period of time, and the way our body reacts to it chemically. Our bodies are frequencies, energy. It has so many different systems and it works so many different ways. But essentially, we are energy, and yeah. But the way that I look at it, and I take it from this book, is programming like a computer. Like that's really when I think of this book, I think of just using a computer. Like I'm a computer. I can program and download new software, learn, update, reset, restart, go to sleep, power down, like all the things a computer can do. Update information, like how, right now we're in the state of AI, you can either catch up with it, learn it, or you don't, and depending on which way the tides turn and the world goes, either you are behind or you are in the forefront. We look at even Hidden Figures. We look at the group of Black women who were about to be outsourced because they were considered computers, and then they brought in these computers, but they learned the computers and were indispensable. You know what I'm saying? Putting yourself in a position where the information that others don't know because they didn't take the time to learn it. But that's how I think of programming myself, and just as a computer, updating information, learning new things. And I really try to take myself off of autopilot. Some days I can't help it. I find myself pulling up to my old apartment like, bitch, you don't live here no more. I only did it like 4 times, but
girl, what?
Girl, yes, I was like so tired. I was just like, I'd be in my head thinking just zoned out in like deep thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did talk about that. That means that you can like because you basically have to like visualize yourself. Like I'm saying, you say in the second chapter, he also talked about his daughter and how she wanted to go to Italy or something like that, and he was like, you can do it as long as you figure out how to get there, basically, and how to make it happen. You have to visualize yourself there. And some opportunities came up to where she was able to go because she visualized herself there, and he didn't have to pay for her. She didn't have to pay for anything. All the expenses were paid for. And she got to do, travel and see all these different cities. So just, making sure that you, dang, I forgot where I was going.
Well, with the trip, I know with that for a fact that he says that he does it. He taught them how to do it where he don't interfere. Right. And she wanted it to be a certain way.
Tying that into the third chapter.
Well, I know she wanted a certain way. He said, and don't let that go. Right. And she was trying to compromise with certain things. He said,
he was like, no, keep on.
You said
if you said this is how it's supposed to be, and this, that's how it's going to be. And it basically just worked out that way for her. Again, I know I was trying to tie it into the third chapter because something was there, but I
could tie it in because I did say, I was thinking about, how I be aligning things. Amen. Amen. You remember that time we was going to go get something to eat and I had spoken? You was my witness. I was speaking that entire night. I said, this was about to happen. This was about to happen. This was about to happen. And guess what else, you guys? I said, if all this stuff happens, it's 43 billion. And what happened?
It all happened.
43 billion.
It definitely did.
I believe it. Listen, I see it now. Money. I'm just throwing it like this in the air.
She don't get that money.
Yeah,
it is in the cards.
It ain't in the. It's in the cards. It's in the deck. It's on the boat. On a
it's
plane.
On its way.
It's flying in fresh. Yeah. But anyways, you guys. So essentially, that's pretty much it. You know, we just did chapters 1 through 3. We're gonna do chapters 4 through 6 next week, and this is going to be the book that carries us out into the new year, and then we're going to take a break and revamp for next year. Okay. But you guys, if you haven't read this book, yes, 2025.
2025 is going to be a great year.
It's going to be
that's all I'm going to say.
It's going to be an awesome
It's going to be an amazing.
It's just crazy to me that it's like I did this. It was 2020.
I know.
Like it was literally 2020, 2019. The matter of fact, I was 2. I don't understand what's going on. Girl, yeah, I was 2. I remember being 2. I do remember being 2. I do. Yeah. Dang it. But yeah, you guys. Oh, and thank you. I don't know what's going on TikTok.
I know me either.
I'm trying to give y'all like into the show, like to see what actually goes on, because TikTok needs to update their features for people like us. Like somehow TikTok, you need to like connect StreamYard. You need to figure out a way to connect with TikTok. Like, come on now. Like, yes, do it. Thank you for the star, whoever that was, because you agree. And I'm sorry, you guys, we've been neglectful because we don't have you guys in front of us because we're trying to give you the experience on the computer.
Somebody said the star?
Mm-hmm. I saw something just pop up on the thing. Yeah, something just popped up. It was a star. So anyways, yeah, you guys, we're going to figure this out because we do not want to leave you guys stranded and out in the dark. And this is so beautifully curated over here, okay? Yeah. And we're not trying to be prejudiced against Facebook or TikTok. I hope y'all can stay in the Americas. We would like to continue using it.
Please don't go. That's what
TikTok,
I'm saying.
Yes, but anyways,
TikTok go away.
Don't go. Sorry, I had my side event a little bit, but yeah. So, anyways, you guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of the book club. Again, we are reading Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, or actually listening on Audible through Amazon Audible, whatever. And we're not getting paid, so but maybe they'll catch
one day, y'all. Let them know.
Yes, and help us achieve Elon.
Tag them. Let them know.
I'm single.
Well, not Elon, but I was talking about him.
Oh no, who's on?
I don't know who's in charge of it.
But anyways,
the guy that's in charge. Bezos.
Oh, sorry, on the wrong person. That's Tesla. Never mind.
Yeah.
See, I don't be knowing nothing about nothing. I stay in my own world.
I think, anyways, because Amazon, right?
No, talking to like,
I don't know.
So you invented Amazon? No, I invented Apple. Isn't that like the same thing? Like it's like an A, right? Like y'all, like double A, triple A.
Girl, shut up. Anyways.
But yeah, so with that note, we're done. Good night. See you next week. Part 2. Read chapters 4 through 6. Damn, it didn't rhyme. That's what I was going for. Tried. I did. Because it would have been better if it was 1 through 3. But all right, y'all have a good night. Baby.